In a quiet town, nestled between rolling hills, there lived a girl named Lila. More than anything, she loved to read. Every day after school, she rushed to the old library on Maple Street, where she lost herself in magical worlds hidden within the pages of books. One rainy afternoon, as she wandered the aisles, she spotted a small, dusty door behind a bookshelf. She had never seen it before. Curious, she pushed it open. A golden glow spilled from inside. Heart pounding, she stepped through and found herself in an enchanted library. Towering shelves stretched endlessly. Floating books drifted above her, their pages whispering softly. Then, from the shadows, a deep voice spoke. Perched on a high shelf was an owl with golden eyes and tiny spectacles. He introduced himself as Oliver, guardian of the magical library. But something was wrong. The stories were fading, their magic vanishing. Without them, the library would be lost. Oliver explained that 3 missing pages had scattered across the worlds within the books. Only a true reader could find them. Lila, without hesitation, agreed to help. The first book, an old, leather-bound tale of Sir Cedric the Knight, was missing the page that held his courage. Oliver told Lila that it was lost in the enchanted forest, guarded by the whispering trees. As soon as she touched the book, the world shifted. She now stood in a misty forest. Tall trees loomed overhead, their silvery leaves rustling with whispers. She listened closely and followed their words to a hidden clearing. There, on a stone pedestal, lay the missing page. The moment she grabbed it, the forest faded. She was back in the library, and the book glowed warmly. Sir Cedric's story was whole again. Next, Oliver led her to a tattered invention manual. It belonged to Millie, a young inventor who had lost the blueprint for her greatest creation. Without it, her story was crumbling. Lila focused on the book, and suddenly she stood in a messy workshop filled with unfinished machines and scattered tools. She searched through the clutter until she found the missing page hidden beneath a pile of blueprints. As soon as she touched it, the workshop vanished. Back in the library, the book shone brightly. Millie's story was restored. Finally, Oliver guided her to a shimmering fairy tale about an enchanted forest whose magic had begun to fade. The missing page had been lost to the wind, scattered deep within the story itself. Lila closed her eyes, and in an instant, she was standing in a glowing forest filled with fireflies. She followed a winding river, its surface shimmering like stardust. There, tangled in the roots of an ancient oak, she found the last page. As soon as she grasped it, the magic around her returned. The colors of the forest brightened, and the world glowed with life. She blinked, and she was back in the library. The final book gleamed as its last page slid into place. Oliver watched her with pride. The stories were safe. Their magic would live on, as long as readers kept them alive. Lila smiled, knowing she would never stop reading. The stories had become a part of her. As she stepped back through the hidden door, the golden glow faded, and the familiar scent of books surrounded her. The library looked the same, but Lila knew that beyond the shelves, in the heart of the magical library, the stories would always be waiting. And from that day on, whenever she opened a book, she could almost hear the whisper of the characters she had saved, reminding her that as long as people kept reading, the magic of stories would never fade.